Hey, I'm back with another one of these things. Videos? Yeah, that's what we'll call them. So, I like to think a lot. I'm a thinker, and lots of these thoughts I have are quite a bit of gibberish, right? But if I pick out my best thoughts, you can almost think that I'm some crazy, deranged crack addict, which I might be. But here are some of my best conspiracy theories, and also some of the ones I like. But quickly, no, I don't believe in these. Let me get that straight. Maybe I do. Okay, quick disclaimer. Do not believe anything I say. This is all a joke and is not a serious thought process. Let me say this again. These are all fake scenarios that are not meant to be taken in a serious manner. So let's start off strong here. Earth is full of reptoids. Now, this is pretty common, right? This came about when people used to say Zuckerberg looks like a lizard, which he does. But this idea is derived off it, right? Now, government politicians in the US of A are very emotionless and try their best to get their way. Very corrupt, right? These people are void of emotions and they do their best to get on the top of the country. In other words, the reptoids are trying to take over America. Once they get in power, they get their little like lizard fingers in power, they will destroy the world and set up a reptoid dictatorship and run the entire world. Also, there can be reptoid hybrids. Sometimes a reptoid will have a relationship with a normal human being, and then boom, hybrid reptoid baby. A lot of these babies are a lot smarter than their parents, right? Like if both their parents aren't good at math at all, this hybrid baby is going to be stellar at math. Now, hybrid babies or just hybrids in general aren't trying to take over, but the master reptoid can like flip a switch and make them go against the humans. So basically, reptoids are just like everywhere, and we don't know who's a reptoid and who's not a reptoid. So anyway, recently the Pentagon, right, released video evidence that there are UFOs. Let me say this again. The US government, in the middle of a global pandemic, just dropped this on us and said, deal with it. And then 60-minute documentary comes out, right? With pilots from the US Air Force saying, like, we basically see these things all the time. So basically, the gay aliens are gonna come kill us all. They're gonna abduct us, anal probe us, and then kill us. So I believe everyone in the world should dig trenches in their backyard, so when the gay aliens come, we at least have a chance of survival. Or we make huge communal trenches at like the school buildings, and like we do that, and then expert defenses against the gay aliens. So that's the gay alien one. Now let's talk about Australia. So basically, Australia doesn't even exist. Now, this one I've seen a lot of other people talk about, and I, for one, I love it. I love it. Basically, Australia is fake government propaganda that every country is doing. That's right. Not just America, but every country in the world is along with this thing, right? So, if you were to go on a trip, or go on a plane ride to Australia, right? They would, instead of bringing you to Australia, you would be brought to a government facility, and in the plane you'd be inhaling like some chemicals to make you fall asleep. So they drug you and they hook you up to like this dream, so that you'd think you were in Australia. Seeing kangaroos, koalas, and the people. Now, any YouTuber and videos of Australian people are just British people putting up propaganda and making a fake accent. It's quite very simple how no one could see this. It just baffles me how people listen to the government just all willy-nilly nowadays. So those are just my biggest ones, my more favorite ones. I most definitely ramble on about something I would make up in 2 minutes and keep going, but I don't remember those. Maybe like I could make a statement how the alligators are actually humans, but so let's share some other common ones because they're just fucking mwah! So the flat Earth is a big one. I like the idea that there's just a huge ice wall, like in the Game of Thrones. There's just that huge ice wall. I'll never watch it, but they like the huge ass ice wall at the end of the world. That's neat. I like to watch that show. I think it's called Ancient Aliens. Like these people that think aliens have visited us in the past, like the Aztecs or the Inca cavemen. But my favorite is that they talked to George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and helped them win the American Revolutionary War. Like they just came down and Just gave him magical powers. I, and also in years to come, the aliens helped. I forgot the architect, but the architect who designed like the streets of Washington D.C. This alien came down and taught this architect how to design this huge laser to contact the aliens in Washington D.C. It just makes so much sense that you can't even agree with it, you know? So fucking birds aren't real. I like the bird one, like government made birds to spy on us. And the reason they sit on the power lines all the time is guess what? They're charging. Because at the start of the pandemic, all the birds disappeared, right? Because the government pulled them back into the bird factory. Not because it was like, when did pandemic start? If you ever look at a bird, right, walking around, they're like pulling some fast robot moves on you. You're looking at them. All right, so those are my biggest and most favorite conspiracy theories. I can make another one right now, probably like, uh, let me say this a second time. These were all fake. I don't want this video to get removed again. Don't listen to me. Whatever I said here is a joke. Today's quote is from Kaiser Wilhelm II of the German Empire. He's dead now, but he says, "Give me a woman who loves beer, and I will conquer the world." What a Chad.